Okay, here we are at Mom and Dad's farm here in Texas. It's the 11th of January 2019, brand new year. So let's go on with this story. What's this story?
I served my mission, went to a lot of different places after Bluefield and after Waynesville, and ended up my mission in Danville and was released and came home.
To where?
To Salt Lake City. The dad had remarried because of the accident. He lost his wife, but he was paralyzed and was now back to, he could walk with two canes. Anyway,
Did it take him a while to come to get back to?
Yeah. At the time when I arrived, he was single, but 4 months later, he was married. Somebody he met in the temple.
Okay.
In Arizona.
Yeah. Anyway,
Arizona
I reported my mission to the stake, and back in those days, it was stake conference where you reported your mission. And our stake was holding their stake conference at the on the Temple Square at the Assembly Hall.
Okay, so did you leave your mission from Idaho, or did you leave your mission from Utah?
From Utah.
Okay, so
University of Utah.
Okay, so you left from there and you came back to there.
Yes.
Okay.
So I came back and reported my mission there at the next to the tabernacle in the assembly hall.
That's where you reported.
State conference. And I turned right around and went back into the mission field because I really didn't have a home to come to. Dad was single, and my brother Ben was on his mission in Pennsylvania, and Bernie and Barbara were the only ones at home with little Mark.
Back in Meridian.
They were in an apartment there in Bountiful.
Oh.
Not in Utah. Not in Idaho.
Not in Idaho.
Okay.
They had moved from there.
Yeah. Before I even, while I was on my mission, they moved from Idaho to Utah. Anyway, I came back, reported my mission, and went back. I was a little bit interested in a girl out there. It was the branch president's daughter, but she was very young. And so, anyway, I went out and actually lived in the upstairs apartment there with the branch president and his family. That's where I learned that I was no longer interested in his daughter because she was a spoiled little gal. So I never did date her. I attended the...
she was cute but spoiled.
Yeah. I attended the branch there and was the second counselor in the branch presidency and also the clerk in the branch, and a full-time student out at Concord College in Princeton, West Virginia. And anyway, I'd been studying really hard, and President Hall came to me and says, "Hey, why don't you come to this dance with us? It's for adults, and you need a break." And as you know, I'm a one-legged man. He lost his leg in the military, an accident, something. Anyway, we had an artificial leg.
He was the branch president?
And he gets tired, and he says, "You can dance with my wife when I get tired." Because it was supposed to be just adults. So we go with this. It was 60 miles straight east into...
Virginia.
Yeah, into Virginia, into Harrisburg was where it was held. Well, anyway, in Talmadge's branch, in 10 more miles into Pembroke, was misannounced. And so she and another girlfriend brought 2 cars full of girls.
And boys. There were boys.
And boys.
Just 2 boys and all the rest girls.
To the dance. Because they thought it was for everybody. And so they came into the dance. And so anyway, to make a long story short, I never did dance with Sister Hall. But I spotted Talmadge, and I just fell head over heels in love with this little girl from Pembroke. And You know, I think back on this whole thing and the things I've talked about before of getting my mission call and opening it to Virginia to go on a mission. And then 1 month I was in her hometown and saw her. And then here I am dancing with her. I made a date with her to come back.
The 70 miles.
Yeah.
60, yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, I couldn't wait for the date, and so I drove down there on a Monday, I think it was.
Yes, it was we were supposed to come on the Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I'd planned on that. And in those days, we didn't even have a phone. We didn't even have, really the necessities of life, basically. But anyway, on Wednesday he came. No, on Wednesday, and then he came on Monday.
The following
instead.
Monday.
No,
Oh.
before the Wednesday.
Okay.
Before the Wednesday.
Knocked on the door, and of course they weren't informed at all. She agreed to come out with me. So our first date was on the spot, if you can call it a date, but we went for a hamburger, and she still reminds me that, I kissed her on that very first day.
Good for
First
you.
time. So
Way to go, Dad.
within 2 weeks,
Yeah.
No, longer than
we
that.
were engaged.
Longer than that.
Well, in his mind, it was 2 weeks.
Yes,
So-
correct.
It was
Right.
2 weeks. We were engaged, and it was 4 months later that we were married. And
Well, before we got married on this date, we had gone to it's called Eddie's Grill.
Okay.
That was the little teenage hangout. Hamburgers and fries and things like that.
So is that where you had the hamburger?
That's
and
where we
things?
had the
yeah,
hamburger.
it's on the main road between Pembroke and
And
Pearisburg, just as you go up the hill.
Well, anyway, we ate that in the car. He had a car on his mission, and so we ate that outside in the car. And we had a hamburger, fries, and 7-Up. And during that time, as we were eating, Bob spilt the 7-Up all over him. He was just really nervous for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, then after we got through eating, we returned home, and that's when he kissed me right on the mouth. Not an unusual kiss, just a little peck. And I was just shocked that he would kiss me on the first date when he really didn't even know me, and I really didn't even know him either. But anyway.
But you accepted because he
I
was cute
accepted,
too.
yeah, he was cute. Yeah, right. Anyway.
Anyway, all of these things go together in building up to a really great family. Chad, you wouldn't even be here.
That's right. That's right.